Hello, I wanted to make another episode about Children of Morta, since the game has a second mode, Family Trials, which is more classic in terms of the roguelike experience. Here you start out with all the skills of your family members, but they are at level 1 and they are pretty weak. Also, you don't skill them in the classical style, you get an upgrade every level up and you can choose out of 3. Now I will try to do this a little less like my usual episodes. I will choose one of these characters. I will go with Linda and I will try to get as far as I can. My track record isn't very good at this mode. I normally get defeated by the first boss. The bosses here are a little more powerful compared to your character than in the normal mode, because in the normal mode you can level up a little more and that helps a lot. Since the game is pretty unforgiving, I'm staying in the normal mode. At the start of these family trials, you can choose one of the bonuses in your vault. And yes, it's only one of them. See, this one will give me more primary damage. The damage I do is at 10.2. If I pick this up, it's at 10.2 plus 2, so slightly higher. And notice I can't take anything else here. That's it, you get one update. Now Linda uses a bow and also some mechanics that stun the opponents in her vicinity. So there isn't much she can do if there's too many opponents on screen. She has this attack where she fires an arrow in the air and then it comes down as an explosive arrow. That takes a little time in between the shot and the landing of the arrow, so you have to time it pretty well. Aside from the main quest, which in this case is just get to the end of this dungeon, there's also a secondary quest that will change every now and then. In this round we have the secondary quest that we should use only up to half of our life before we reach the end. That is fine, we can get damaged if we heal up enough at the end. We are still going to have done it. Well, it's not very good idea to... It's not a very good idea to be too fast in these dungeons. Take your time and keep a look on the ground. There are those spike traps. I can show them, yeah. This can be very problematic. And then these little things, if you shoot at them, they explode. So if the thing gets too crowded, you might get caught up in that explosion. The main problem with a character like this that can shoot and walk and abuse its range is normally that it doesn't do much damage, which is a problem if you have to face some bosses. There are mini bosses in every stage. The wild people, they have these skull thingies on them. And no joke, these spiders are shooting these webs at me that will slow me down, so that in combination with that mini-boss is a bit of a problem. Thankfully, in these first levels, the damage that I do is enough to keep these opponents at bay. There's the next door to the next level, but I don't want to miss anything because it's important to get level ups. I already got one, let's look at it. There we have more speed in our attacks. Now this could help. Essentially it's the equivalent of more damage over time. And this might look pretty easy, just shoot at him, evade him. But also have a look at your surroundings. Those spike traps are everywhere. And that's one of the easy rounds here. The floor gets extremely trap heavy in the later stages, and at that point you will have to be much more careful. Mind your step. It's also not helpful that most of these traps are in the dark. Oh, this is not good. Oh, look at this. I can also stun people around me with my second ability. That helps a lot. If I want to shoot and at the same time move, I need endurance. That is a bit of a problem because that's a limited resource. This is nice. Even faster attacking. That should come in handy. Now let me check quick if there was anything left down there. They might even have money on them, and I like that. Die and pay, I say. Next door, next fun. So that settles it. I've been quite lucky with my first two skills I've got. Getting attack damage 2 times for a character that is not that great on base damage, but has the ability to keep your opponents at bay if she shoots fast enough. Now that is a no-brainer. So these little gems here are the primary target if you want money. The gold itself isn't even that interesting, because the main things you want to buy, you need jewels for that. If you want to upgrade your artifacts, jewels. If you want to gamble and get a random artifact, maybe jewels. If you want to buy something from the shop, you will see 2 times. Well, that's gold, but that's the only thing that gives you gold. I said I was lucky the first 2 times, not this time around, not this time around. Although it might have some value. But it won't help me against the boss, and that's the only thing that is a problem. I need to kill the bosses in this game to progress. And so far, not many bosses have fallen to my hands, because most of the time I just don't have the abilities I need, which is one of the main problems I have with most roguelike games that have this mechanic. You just don't get what you need. And there is only so many bad skills you can use in a game until it gets too much and your power level isn't high enough. Unless you have godlike skills in these games. Sadly, that's not me. Now, these little scorpions are hard to see. Ah, there's another boss or wild opponent. Yes, oh, come on. Yep, that's how I like them. Slow. Notice this little trap is like a magnet. And most of the times there are some other traps around it, so it really is a problem if you get caught in that. You also, if you are in your attack modus and move, well, Linda is not strong enough to get away from the pull while shooting. So there is a bit more to keep in mind with these things. Hello. So, I think I've got most of the problems here. My secondary quest is kill 30 opponents at once, or in a combo, so that's not going to happen because I barely get 10 opponents at a time. I could go through the dungeon and just try to get every opponent in one place and then shoot them, but I think that's not quite what I should do. It's a pretty big risk, and even though not hitting your secondary target is a bit of pain and you lose some XP, I don't think it would be very wise to do it this time. Oh boy. See, that combo wasn't even a 10, or I mean an 11. Which shows how much of a problem it will be to get 30. Some of these secondary targets are very easy, some are almost impossible, and that's also something where you need to be lucky, because you will lose some levels over time if you don't get... What just happened? So, more critical chance. I think that's a good thing. No, that's empty. So, for our primary target we need one more of these mini-bosses. And there he is. Wasn't that nice? Now I want to clean up this stage. I'm losing enough XP as it is. Oh, there's also some more treasure. And there we are. So as usual, my videos are supposed to be around 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, and there are exceptions like this where we can go to 15, 16 minutes, but I don't want to make them too long, so I will have this one cut in more than one episode, and I hope I can edit it all in time, so we will have an episode every day now.